G, name something that has to be licked. All right.
A woman.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Hey guys, MrTLexify back, and in today's video I'm coming at you guys with another top 5 zombies video. And in today's video, this is going to be the top 5 Verruckt secrets in Call of Duty World at War or Black Ops 1, it's up to you. But anyways, with today's video, Verruckt, I want you guys to keep in mind that Verruckt is a really scary map. It's one of the most mentally scary, a lot of people say, and it also is one of the most physically scary. With today's list, there's going to be no particular order whatsoever, so number 5 is probably the least interesting for me, and number 1 is really damn interesting, and I got a really bunch of cool theories, so make sure to stay tuned throughout the whole video. I will be uploading a new map every week, so next week will be Shino Numa, and after that, Darius, all the way up until Exo-Zombies. And also, if you have not watched the top 5 Nocturne Totem secrets, I suggest you do that now before coming into this video. This video will make a lot more sense. But anyways, guys, let's head down to our number 5 spot. And in today's video, this is going to be 2 separate things. And the first one is going to be that the map separates people until they reach the power. Now, you're probably looking at me like, no shit, it does. But what I wanted to say about this is that with Verruckt, there's a lot of symbolism. And I want you guys to keep this in mind because there's sort of a division between one side and the other. There's a lot of symbolism, and this is sort of the main theme of Verruckt. A good resemblance that we can see from this already is a storyline separation, especially in Black Ops 2. You can say that it's either Maxis or Richtofen, and this map resembles that very, very clearly and distinctly. And also with Maxis, the Maxis Easter egg, if you decide to do all the Maxis Easter eggs on Call of Duty Black Ops 2, you can only stay to that side. You can't do the other one while doing the major Easter egg in Buried, where you summon Maxis or you summon Richtofen to become the Lord of the Ether or whatever. And guys, there's a huge quote in one of these starting rooms, or both of them actually, and it says that power will reunite you. Obviously, this is resembling to the power that is on the other side, but also this is resembling to the whole storyline and how the pylons, the power, that also brought into the whole aspect of Maxis and or Richtofen, up to your decision, that becomes the sort of Lord and the ruler of Earth, which is really crazy to see that they added something like that all the way in to Verruckt. And if you guys have not seen the whole pylon theory, again, it's in the previous video of top 5 Nocturne Totem secrets. But anyways, another cool thing in our number 5 spot is that you can actually find a 4x3 mounted LMGs underneath the map where the sort of morgue is in Verruckt, and you'll be able to use them, but you can't actually hit any zombies. We're not totally sure why they are there. Also, where the well is in the middle of the map on Verruckt, you can find an LMG, a Browning I believe, and it's sitting on this sort of obsidian-like pedestal, and it's just ready to kill, but there's nothing there. We don't really know why Treyarch added this. I have no idea, but I thought it was pretty cool to add in this video. So coming in at our number 4 spot, we have 2 things again. And speaking of the well, this well sort of reminds me of Buried, and we can kind of see these little sort of cameo appearances. For example, a big part of Buried, like I said, is the well that can actually teleport you, and there's always something under the well, even in Buried, and obviously in Verruckt we have this LMG. And also there's a really cool quote that kind of goes with this well, and it's wish too often and your wishing well will run, which is kind of a little cool little hint to Buried and what happened with that. Obviously it's also resembling the mystery box, and once you keep using the mystery box, you're gonna get the teddy bear, and it's gonna ask you to go all the way to the other side of the map or wherever the mystery box is and go for it there. Now the next little thing for the number 4 spot is the mannequin. Now the mannequin, there's 2 mannequins in Verruckt that you can find, one with a ton of knives and also one that's being hung, and there's a little chair that has been knocked over. We don't really know what these 2 mean. My guess is that it could be Maxis and Richtofen, a sort of side between them. It sort of means that they've been dead, and it's sort of like a transits kind of link of where it says you're going to die whether you become more powerful than everyone else or not. You're still dead inside. That's personally my belief. I don't know, I couldn't really figure out anything good with that. But anyways, guys, let's head down to our number 3 spot, and in today's video, this is going to be two things yet again. There's just so much stuff. I might have just made this a top 10, but you know what? Top 5 is amazing as well. The first thing is that there's another really cool quote that links back to the first Nocturne Totem quote, and this is the lightning banishes darkness. And now this is a really awesome quote because again, it goes way hand in hand back in my theory with the lightning striking the pylons, allowing teleportation for transit, and it just goes hand in hand with that. Also, the lightning with darkness obviously means the new electric traps that were recently added. Again, how it relates is that also with the lightning banishes darkness, there's a sort of code on the wall on Verruckt that actually relates to the Tunguska event, and this Tunguska event is a sort of meteorite that landed in Russia. And what Treyarch did, and it's very awesome what they did, is they actually took this meteorite and they sort of theorized it and said that this meteorite had 115 in it, which then led to the B-17 shipment in Nocturne Totem, which then led to the whole Nocturne Totem theory that again I have in my other video. But anyways, let's head down to our number 2 spot, and in today's video, this is going to be yet again two things, and the first one is that Dempsey was actually a character on this map. Now this was actually recently confirmed by Treyarch. This was really not added in before or when World at War was released, because Dempsey, we didn't really know about Dempsey when Verruckt was first released. We didn't know about the whole storyline, so there is a point where Dempsey went to Verruckt to save Peter McCain, who did die in Shinonuma, which does kind of suck, and he will be a huge part into this video and also the Shinonuma video that I will upload next week. And heading on down to the second part of the number 2 spot, and this is the sort of lullaby of a dead man Easter egg, where if you go to this certain location on the Verruckt, this is towards the balcony, and if you go there, you will actually are able to flush this toilet 3 times, and once you are presumed to do that, that is when you will hear the song Lullaby of a Dead Man. Now, what I noticed about this Easter egg was that it relates to something that we've recently seen by Treyarch, and Treyarch has released their sort of live stream about how they created Treyarch, and they released this image about origins and all 4 of the characters, but only Richtofen was whited out. And I wanted to relate this between the 3 toilets and the bathtub. You can actually sort of symbolize these 3 toilets and the bathtub as characters in the Call of Duty World at War zombie map. So for example, Nocturne Totem could be relating to Dempsey, Verruckt could be relating to Nikolai, Darius would probably be relating to Richtofen just because he was working there with Group 935, and Shinonuma with Tokyo. Now the reason why I say this is because there's 2 toilets, right, that would probably either signify Dempsey, Nikolai, or Tokyo, and these are the guys that all stay alive. Now if you're wondering why would I add the bathtub, this is my little theory about it. So if you notice that in Mob of the Dead, Weasel actually references Nikolai, and there's no particular reason why he does this. My personal thinking is that he symbolizes Nikolai, and he uses the bathtub from Mob of the Dead that you can get the golden sport from to the one in Verruckt to actually symbolize Nikolai as one of these 4 characters. And it's obviously very cool to see that Nikolai stands, Tokyo stands, Dempsey stands, but the toilet that has been knocked down could represent Richtofen. So I believe that's a really cool thing that we could be seeing. Anyways guys, that's enough for the number 2 spot. Let's head down to our number 1 spot. And in today's video, this is going to be one big theory that I have about the whole map. Now obviously on Verruckt, there's a lot of really strange stuff. There's radios that you can find, there's very strange posters, especially with the perks that you can find. They're all switched up and it's very weird. There's a lot of handprints of blood around the map, and also there's a lot of random screams that you can hear around the map. And there's actually a story that I found, and I possibly thought that this was a dev reference to something, but no. If you guys actually start up the game on Verruckt, and it will say that you're playing in Widenos Sanatorium, and this sanatorium was in September 1945 when the whole Verruckt crisis was based off of. It's very cool to see this because if you could do a simple Google search, you can find a really awesome backstory that actually relates to this whole thing. So if you go onto the University of Denver's website, they have a whole article listed about the Widenauer Sanatorium. Now it's not Widenau Sanatorium like it is in Verruckt, but it is possibly a relevant sort of structure or story about what actually happens in Verruckt. I'm not going to say the whole story because it is kind of long and I want to keep this video short, but basically what happens is that it's a story about this guy named Max and his wife Maria. Maria is very worried about Max and his morphine addiction, so she sends Max off to this sanatorium, and Maria realizes that there are Nazis coming in to this sanatorium, and she goes to the sanatorium, yells and screams and tells them that there is no sort of Max there because they were looking for him, and that's what happened, and the Nazis were able to flee, and Max's life was saved, and also he's tortured and just not treated well. And what I thought about this was really cool was because in the map Verruckt, like I said, you can hear a woman crying, a man crying, and a baby crying, a man screaming and a woman yelling, but only a baby crying. There is no relevance to the baby crying, and there is only one explanation for this. In the map, you can find a German children's circus poster that says any German child is not allowed to go to the circus in the asylum, which could possibly be the reason why the baby or the child was crying. Now, also, you can hear the woman yelling, referring to Maria in the story, yelling at the Nazis, telling them to go away, and just screaming like she was in utter despair. And also you can hear Max yelling and crying just because of his wounds that he was being terminated with. And also one cool thing that I thought, and you can actually find parts of his wounds and his sort of surgical removements. On the surgical chair, you can find that there is a right hand there. The other hand is located on the power switch, which is obviously Max's hands. And this is really cool that Treyarch would add something this minute to a whole storyline of zombies. So guys, please, Treyarch is just amazing with this kind of stuff. So again, huge props to Treyarch on this. That's going to be the video. I thought this was a really cool reference that you can actually hear, and I can tell that this is true because when you go up to the surgical chair and you hold X, you can hear a man crying and screaming with just pain and agony. And the reason why is because there's a saw you can hear also in the background, and you can hear that he is getting his arms cut off. There was probably, this asylum was crazy. Verruckt's literal meaning is crazy. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like. This took a very long time to make. Let's see if we can hit 2,500 likes for the next top 5 zombie secrets video, and that one will be about Shinonuma. Thank you guys again so much for watching. You are the best. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you again so much, and I'll see you